Does this Otterbox case need an introduction? Probably not, right? This thing is marketed to be one of the toughest cases in the world, and from my drop testing, I don't think it is. I'm testing 50 cases to find the best 5. This is review 23 out of 50. Almost halfway there! Because I'm a reviewer, not an influencer, for the iPhone 17s, my scoring system is based on what the iPhone actually feels when it hits the ground on its corner, on its face, as well as on its camera lump. Now, I usually say I drop a iPhone in the case 30 times, but with the Defender, I did 60. I had to because the data was just so blah. So when I say it's terrible, it's because I've got the data to back it up. Now, the general design of the Defender has not really changed. The iPhone sits in a polycarbonate shell and it's surrounded by a TPU cover. There's a bit of impact foam on the inside of the case, but there's no impact foam up here, which is going to be an issue. Now, I do like the overall finish of the product. There's a bunch of notches and grip strips and like little accents here and there that really makes this case stand out, especially when compared to the older versions. The edge of this case almost runs flush against the iPhone with the screen protector, but the tops and bottoms of the product have massive lips on them. Oh, and it still has a port cover. Now, this is where the biggest red flag is for this product. Can you hear it? Yeah, this case doesn't fit tightly against the iPhone. I think there is a gap between this lip and the bottom of my iPhone that is the thickness of this impact foam. How do you screw that up? When it comes to weight, this thing weighs 73 grams, which is way above the 50-gram average. Bulk-wise, at its thickest, it's going to make your iPhone feel 100% bigger. Now, when it comes to specifically grip, I have no complaints because this thing is just so grippy. The TPU cover has a nice finish to it. There's a bunch of grip strips along the edge here, and there's all these little doohickeys that, you know, force the iPhone to sit well in the palm of your hand. TPU still has a bit of pocket pull-in power, annoying. Buttons on this case are integrated, and because the case edge is so thick, they are very, very stiff. But unlike the Defender from last year, they covered up the camera control button. Whoever did the design for this camera control button should be fired, because you can access the camera control button without actually pushing the camera control button. You hear that click? That's the camera control button being pressed, and I'm not even pushing it up. I'm pushing it side to side. So your camera app is always going to be misfiring in this case unless you turn it to something else like double click. Like, get out of town, seriously. This is a premium priced product. When it comes to screen access, because of the very low edges, it doesn't really get in the way. When it comes to MagSafe accessories, to pull things off only took 5 newtons, to push things off only took 8.6 newtons. That's 33% worse than average. Why? When it comes to the protective design of the product, the case has corners that are 5.7 mils thick. That is massive. The back itself is 3.7 mils thick, which is massive also. When it comes to rigidity, because of the polycarbonate shell, this thing took 51 newtons to bend it 8 mils. That's 79% above average. Now, before I started this journey, I assumed cases with rigid backs were going to be tougher, but apparently this is too rigid, because when I did my corner drops, my iPhone recorded 13.1 newtons. That's 26% above average. Now, after the initial impacts, the rotating tumble, that rate was very average, and the case did settle pretty quickly at 15% better than average. But because of the initial massive impact, total force is higher by 9%. So there is nothing in this case that is really cushioning a fall. Yes, there's a TPU cover, yes, there is impact foam, but that massive polycarbonate tomb that your iPhone sits in is not doing the iPhone any favors. Pretty much when I'm doing this, all the energy from those impacts are going straight into the iPhone. Now, when it came to dropping it on these massive lips, the initial impact was 37% higher than average, which is terrible. It settled down pretty quickly, 11% better. But the total force was 64% higher because of this. So if you look closely at the front of this case, there is, TPU that stops it from sliding around, but it's such a tiny amount that the majority of the front of the iPhone is a piece of polycarbonate, and your iPhone doesn't like that. When it comes to camera lump drops, if you look right here, you can see that the outer edge is from the TPU and the inner edge is polycarbonate. And when you do this, see that bounce? The initial impact was 94% higher than average, the settling rate was 27% slower, and the total force going into the iPhone was 32% higher. That is terrible. Now, to figure out the top 5, I'm doing like a bracket style kind of competition where products that fail like a certain cutoff wouldn't make it. This one definitely failed the cutoff, but because we've been led to believe this is a very tough case, I'm going to keep it through the rest of the testing to see how well or how poorly it does, or maybe this case somehow at 4 feet and 6 feet just are miraculous. So would I get this product if I wasn't a reviewer? Oh my gosh, no, absolutely not. Nobody should get this product because of fit issues, because of button issues, and most importantly, because of drop protection issues. I'm on a mission to figure out what the best 5 cases are out of, I'm gonna test 50. If this is the first time you're watching one of the videos, make sure you hit subscribe. Also check back to my channel regularly because I'm just going to post these videos as I finish them. I've got 50 of them. Only 27 more to go. Oh, thank gosh.